Let us start. So, in the last class, we are looking at rating scale. In this one, we'll try to finish checklists and biophysical methods. If possible, we'll also go into projective technique. Now, checklists are fairly common, not just in research, but you see them in daily life as well. Several people, even if you are going out to buy something, let us suppose you're going to grocery shopping, you generally make a checklist of things, okay? All the things that you need to buy, you make a checklist of it, and whenever you have bought them in the aisle itself, let us suppose you are going to a mall or something like that, big grocery store, there you'll simply tick it, okay? You will, you know, put a check mark on it, essentially. So by definition, checklists are a very simple instrument constructed. It is essentially a prepared list of expected items. यहाँ पर expected items with respect to research is performance. ठीक है, it might be performance or it might be certain attributes that the researcher is looking for, and if that attribute is shown, you will be able to check it. ठीक है, for example, I'll show you how a checklist looks. Medically ऐसा रहता है, देखो medical emergency checklist ऐसी रहती. So for example, अब primary secondary survey कर रहे हैं आप, एयरवे इंटरवेंशन और करना है नहीं करना है, if the patient is allergic or not, is there tension pneumothorax, does the patient need oxygen, all of that you'll get a clear cut answer इसमें. Now you can observe one respondent at one time, or essentially one patient at one time, and you can clearly specify the characteristics of their behavior that need to be observed. Okay. Now these use only carefully prepared checklists. Okay. Try to avoid complex traits that need a lot of description. Okay. Generally these will be amounting to yes or no questions or binary questions. So if you put questions which are very complex and which need a lot of explanation, checklist will not work in that scenario. Okay. The advantage of checklist is that it will allow inter-individual comparisons. Okay, you can compare very easily. You can provide a very simple method to record observation. Okay, it is fairly simple. It is not very hard. It is adaptable to subject areas. You can evaluate learning activities very well with this. So you can, let us suppose you are going to a school and you are checking how well students performance is improving over a few months. So let us suppose you are teaching them a few skills in different subjects, and you are teaching them like physical skills, in the sense that let us suppose you are teaching them pottery and things like that. You can see how well they are improving. Okay, how well they have come along. Are they able to make a new pot altogether without a crack in it or without a hole in it, and things like that. ठीक है, आप लर्निंग एक्टिविटीज को अच्छा इवेल्युएट कर सकते हैं इससे, प्रोसीजरल वर्क को इवेल्युएट कर सकते हैं. The disadvantage is that this does not indicate quality of performance. ठीक है, now even if let us suppose, same example, we go to a school and we teach some students how to make a pot. Okay, pottery class mein you are teaching how to make a pot. Now there might be several students who are able to make a pot without a hole, but the quality of that pot might be variable. Okay, in the sense that some pots might have a thicker end and a thinner top or things like that. Okay, utni achhi even quality nahi ho sakti, but that cannot be described in checklist. Okay, so checklist usefulness is limited when this with respect to quality of things. And sometimes only presence or absence of attribute or behavior can be shown. Okay, or performance parameter as well. You cannot show the degree to which that performance has been, or the degree to which that attribute has been presented in that patient. Okay, for example, if the patient is showing anxiety, so let us suppose that you are going to 10 patients and you're checking whether or not they are anxious. Out of them you find 5 are anxious, so वो 5 patients के नाम के बाजू you will tick anxiety or anxious, yes. Now to what degree they are anxious you cannot describe in the checklist. Okay, and it is very limited with respect to qualitative research study. You cannot exactly get a lot of information or get a lot of use out of it in qualitative studies. So that is about checklist. Then we have biophysical methods. Now, biophysical methods essentially involve collection of biophysical data. ठीक है, for example, collecting blood pressure. ठीक है, especially using certain instruments that are very specific to those methods. So, for example, you are using a special instrument like a sphygmomanometer. ठीक है, स्फिग्मोमीटर एंड स्टेथोस्कोप यूज करके आप फाइंड कर रहे हैं, ठीक है। और इवन इफ यू आर यूजिंग ऑटोमेटिक काइंड ऑफ बीपी मशीन, दैट इज ऑल्सो अ बायोफिजिकल मेथड, ठीक है। यू आर कलेक्टिंग बायोफिजिकल डेटा from the subject using a special type of equipment. Now, the purpose of biophysical method, there's four main purposes why you do biophysical method. First is to study the basic physiological process. To study, one second. This means essentially checking how well the patient's health is. Okay, for example, uh, there is a study where a person's reaction is being seen under stress. Okay, during a period of stress, you are trying to see what are the biophysical reactions, what is their, how are their physiological reactions changing, in the sense that unka bp बढ़ रहा कम हो रहा, उनका blood glucose बढ़ रहा कम हो रहा, what is happening to the hormones that are present in their body, those kind of things. Then studying physiological outcomes of nursing care. The second one, यहाँ पर you are trying to explore and document what will happen, what how does the patient respond to specific nursing care practices. For example, let us suppose you have हाँ पेशेंट्स हु आर जिनको आप स्पंज बाथ दे रहे हो, ठीक है। now there will be patients in hospitals that will require sponge bath, who cannot actually go to the washroom and have a bath or a shower. So you are trying to see what will be the effect of using tepid water, ठीक है, lukewarm water, tepid water versus using cold water for sponging, ठीक है। तो tepid sponging versus cold sponging, what will happen to the patient's core body temperature if I use tepid sponging or cold sponging. तो आप nursing care ही दे रहे हैं, depending on different type of nursing care, you are trying to see what is their physiological outcome. Here the physiological outcome that you are or the physiological attribute that is under question is core body temperature. Is it increasing, is it falling, is it remaining the same, क्या हो रहा. Then third one, to evaluate nursing interventions. Now in this, what you are trying to do is, for example, यहाँ पर let us suppose there is a patient who underwent cardiac surgery, ठीक है, open heart surgery or whatever, they underwent some kind of cardiac surgery. You are trying to study the effect of music on their heartbeat, ठीक है, heartbeat, heart rate, and on their blood pressure after the operation is done. You are trying to see what will happen if I introduce specific type of music in the patient's environment. Let us suppose I use metal music, or I use a very mellow chill beats kind of music. What will happen to the patient's heartbeat, and what will happen to their blood pressure? Is there any difference? It will also indicate that agar patient stress में है, let us suppose post operatively the patient is in stress, and on an average इनका बीपी बढ़ के रह रहा. By this experiment I can also, if I find that maybe using mellow beats and like acoustic music or something like that is helping me calm the patient down, it can be used. That will also be as a non-pharmacological method, but essentially you are decreasing the patient's blood pressure by calming them down. Then the fourth thing that you can study is correlation of physiological functioning, ठीक है, correlation of physiological functioning in patients with health problems. Now यहाँ पर इसका मतलब क्या है? For example, a researcher is trying to establish the relationship between physiological parameters like hemoglobin, hematocrit, serum albumin, blood sugar. ये पूरे कैसा एक दूसरे पे डिपेंड होते और कैसा चेंज होते, ठीक है. लेट अस सपोज आई हैव टू पेशेंट्स हु हैव डायबिटीज mellitus and they have anemia, ठीक है. Now how will, or let's suppose I have one patient of diabetes and another one of anemia. I am seeing their blood picture. कैसा change हो रहा? Is their hemoglobin being affected? Is their hematocrit being affected? How is their blood sugar fluctuating with respect to, let us suppose, diabetes, and with respect to anemia? Is it that anemic patients have no changes in blood sugar, या उन लोगों के अंदर भी blood sugar will vary a little bit? ठीक है. You can check incidence of hospital acquired infections, okay, in different patients. Let us suppose there are several different patients with several infections, and or several non-infections. So let's suppose they have some other syndrome or some problem. What is their likelihood of developing infections in the hospital? तो आप वो पूरा इंफॉर्मेशन कोरिलेट कर सकते हैं एक दूसरे से. ये टाइप ऑफ पेशेंट्स में ऐसे ऐसे प्रॉब्लम्स हो सकते हैं बल्कि, using biophysical methods. Now there are two different types of biophysical methods. One is in vivo, the other is in vitro. The difference is that in vivo is essentially measuring physiological parameters inside the body, in the sense that you are not removing any sample out of the body. In vitro may you remove things out of the body, or you will check, um, you will perform tests in such a way that you are measuring external variables. For example, let us suppose in vivo method का example is BP monitoring. You don't need to withdraw blood, or you don't need to do any invasive procedures for monitoring BP. ठीक है? You can simply use a sphygmomanometer and stethoscope, and what you can measure what is happening inside the patient's body. ठीक है? या even pulse rate आप check कर रहे हैं, या heart beat check कर रहे हैं, या respiratory rate check कर रहे हैं. इसमें all you need is that patient and their physiological parameter जो उनके अंदर already हो रहा है, या temperature check कर रहे हैं उनके thermometer से. Using a thermometer, you are checking their cardiac conduction using ECG machine. All of them will come under in vivo methods. In vitro methods will involve, you know, taking something out of the patient's body. So for example, आप blood निकाल रहे, या any fluid निकाल रहे. For example, you are trying to get data for their microbiological data, pathological data, blood picture. ठीक है? आप एक्सरे कर रहे, सीटी स्कैन कर रहे, लेट अस सपोज आप बॉडी टिश्यू निकाल के बॉडी टिश्यू पे वो कर रहे, ठीक है, या फिर आप इवन बेटर यू आर परफॉर्मिंग रीनल फंक्शन टेस्ट. ब्लड लेके आप उस पे रीनल फंक्शन टेस्ट कर रहे, हार्मोन लेवल चेक कर रहे, या फिर आप बैक्टीरियल काउंट्स कर रहे. ऑल ऑफ दैट, रिमूविंग सैंपल या कलेक्टिंग सैंपल, नॉट रिमूविंग, collecting sample for tests. ठीक है? सो वेरियस टेस्ट, आप पेट स्कैन करो, सीटी स्कैन करो, या बैक्टीरियल काउंट करो, कल्चर सेंसिटिविटी करो, या टिश्यू बायोप्सी करो. ठीक है? यू हैव 4 डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ इन वाइट्रो मेजरमेंट्स. रेडियोलॉजिकल मेजरमेंट्स कर सकते हैं आप. ठीक है? व्हेन यू आर पुटिंग रेडिएशन ऑन द पेशेंट, थिंग्स लाइक एमआरआई, या फिर एक्सरे है, पेट स्कैन है, या फिर आप you are doing biochemical measurements like हार्मोन लेवल्स, ब्लड शुगर, हीमोग्लोबिन, आरएफटी, एलएफटी, या फिर आप माइक्रोबायोलॉजिकल मेजरमेंट्स कर रहे हैं, बैक्टीरियल काउंट कर रहे हैं, कल्चर सेंसिटिविटी कर रहे हैं, या फिर आप साइटोलॉजिकल मेजरमेंट्स कर रहे हैं. साइटोलॉजिकल मेजरमेंट्स में टिश्यू बायोप्सीज आते हैं जनरली. यू आर रिमूविंग अ बिट ऑफ टिश्यू ऑफ द पेशेंट एंड यू आर चेकिंग. Now, the advantages of biophysical methods is that they are fairly accurate and errorless. There is very low chance that you will get error. So, for example, if you're trying to assess oxygen saturation of a patient, pulse oximeter can be measured. And यहाँ पर advantage क्या रहता? Generally, जो measuring tool रहता, they can only measure a specific type of attribute. ठीक है? They will provide very valid measures. ठीक है? Only targeted variables will be measured, in the sense that लेट अस सपोज मैं थर्मोमीटर यूज कर रहा हूँ. थर्मोमीटर से मैं खाली टेम्परेचर ही चेक कर सकता हूँ, ब्लड प्रेशर चेक नहीं कर सकता, तो वो बहुत स्पेसिफिक डिवाइस है. ठीक है? एंड दीज biophysiological measures, these are very how should I put it, objective. ठीक है? Now the nurse measuring blood pressure, or sorry, blood pressure or body temperature, uh, these are very very objective measures. You are specifically looking for one thing and you are trying to find only one thing. Okay, you are not trying to find 10 things at the same time. Okay, even if you do try to do 10, try to find 10 things at the same time, each of them will have a different procedure to it, each of them will have a different method to it, and a different equipment will be used in that scenario. Disadvantage is that because there are so many specific instruments, they can become very expensive. Biophysiological methods, uh, the results might vary a little bit depending on the environment. For example, अगर आप patient का body temperature check कर रहे हैं, now if let us suppose you are checking the patient's body temperature through auxiliary method, you are putting the this thing thermometer in there, this thing armpit, तो आप auxiliary temperature जो आप record कर रहे हैं, that temperature will vary whether or not depending on the patient surrounding. Essentially अगर उन्होंने air conditioning में है या air conditioning में नहीं है, that will vary because the amount of perspiration that they'll get and the amount of core body temperature that will fluctuate will vary depending on their environmental this thing temperature. तो वैसा भी रहता। और बायोफिजियोलॉजिकल मेथड करने के लिए यू नीड टू हैव अ सर्टेन अमाउंट ऑफ ट्रेनिंग एंड नॉलेज एंड एक्सपीरियंस। ठीक है, विदाउट दैट यू कैन नॉट एग्जैक्टली डू प्रॉपर बायोफिजियोलॉजिकल मेथड, यू कैन नॉट इंटरप्रेट इट प्रॉपरली। देन third method we have projective technique. Now projective technique में these are methods where you are trying to measure psychological attributes. ठीक है, what is the value patient gives to certain things, what are their attitudes, what is their personality, आप वो check करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। And how you do that is by providing the patient with a unstructured stimulus. ठीक है, you are giving some random stimulus to the subject or the patient and you are seeing what is the response that you get. ठीक है, now you have several different types of projective techniques. First one is associative technique. Specifically word associative technique बोल रहा हूँ मैं। So for example, the subject is given, essentially what you are doing is you are giving a word to the patient and you're asking them to respond whatever comes first to their mind. ठीक है, respond with whatever comes to their mind first. So for example, uh, I go and ask a patient. Well, let's suppose I have a subject and I go to them and as the interviewer, I say Pepsi. Let us suppose the respondent's first response is Dil Mange Mor. So that essentially represents what they are hearing in advertisement. ठीक है, अब यहाँ पर ये मार्केटिंग रिसर्च के लिए बहुत अच्छा काम करता है एसोसिएटिव टेक्निक। दे आर यूज्ड इन अदर फील्ड्स एज वेल to find how well the patient's psychological state of mind is, but essentially you can see word associations. What do they associate one word with? So for example, if I say day, they might say night, or if I say medications, they might say expenses, whatever. Okay, and then completion techniques. Completion technique में आप क्या कर रहे हैं, you are giving the subject with a stimulus that is incomplete. ठीक है, आप इनकम्प्लीट स्टिमुलस दे रहे हैं, तो आप लेट्स सपोज आप सेंटेंस कंप्लीशन के वैसा भी दे सकते हैं या स्टोरी कंप्लीशन के वैसा भी दे सकते हैं। फॉर एग्जांपल, यू आर गिविंग अ सेंटेंस टू द पेशेंट, सेंटेंस कंप्लीशन है समझो, वर्किंग विथ अदर्स ऑल द टाइम इज डैश। ठीक है, दैट इज अ सेंटेंस कंप्लीशन टेक्निक। सेंटेंस कंप्लीशन में आप क्या कर रहे हैं, यू आर गिविंग एन इनकम्प्लीट सेंटेंस टू द पेशेंट एंड यू आर ट्राइंग टू सी व्हाट इज देयर रेस्पॉन्स टू दैट। ठीक है, तो फॉर एग्जांपल यू आर आस्किंग द पेशेंट, working with others all the time is, you stop there and you wait for the patient to respond or you wait for the subject to respond. ठीक है, now that response is very individualistic, उनकी psychology जैसी है वैसा response आता है आपको। Similarly you can have story completion as well। ठीक है, you paint a small picture। ठीक है, instead of giving sentences you will ask the informant, you will give a small story and you will ask them to complete that story। ठीक है, uh, subjects might respond with words, especially in case of sentence completion. Subjects might respond with, for example, the question was working with others all the time is, the words might be nervous, sickening, tired, or it is happy। पॉजिटिव इफेक्ट भी रह सकता है, नेगेटिव इफेक्ट भी रह सकता। ठीक है, कॉमरेडरी बिल्डिंग भी रह सकता है या नेगेटिव भी रह सकता है, वट एवर द केसेस। पेशेंट का आपको, सब्जेक्ट का आपको अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स मिल जाता है साइकोलॉजिकल स्टेट का इसमें। देन देर इज कंस्ट्रक्शन टेक्निक्स। कंस्ट्रक्शन टेक्निक्स में the focus is on a product, ठीक है, which is related to the subject. Now the subject is required to produce or to construct something, ठीक है, it might be a story or it might be a picture. So for example, आप सब्जेक्ट को एक रेसिपी बुक दे रहे या एक रेसिपी दे रहे एंड यू आर आस्किंग देम टू कंप्लीट दैट रेसिपी इन द सेंस दैट कुक दैट रेसिपी, या फिर you are giving them everyday normal pictures, ठीक है, of everyday events. So for example, you are showing them a picture of traffic, you are showing them a picture of maybe a building being constructed, you are showing them a picture of people crossing the road, you are showing them a picture of people buying things, ठीक है, in a market or in a store or whatever it is, ठीक है, and you are asking the patient to respond, ठीक है, क्या रहता है उनका response. That is thematic appreciation test. कितने की अलग अलग type of construction tests होते हैं. There is one famous one called Rorschach test. Rorschach test में what you are doing is you are giving them 10 cards, ठीक है, that have ink blots on them, print of ink blots, ठीक है, ink के blotches रहते हैं उसके ऊपर, and there will be certain design to it. They are symmetrical design but they are meaningless. You are giving these 10 pictures or these 10 cards to the patients or the subjects, and you are asking the respondents to describe what they think of those, ठीक है, जो symmetrical blotch है, what do they think of those. These are very good in personality assessment, Rorschach test especially. Then there is expressive technique. Expressive technique में the subject is asked to draw or role play, they are asked to paint or act about a particular situation or concept. आप क्या करते हैं, concept दे देते हैं उनको. So for example, you ask them, um, draw me a painting of an apple or a picture of an apple or whatever, ठीक है, और draw me a picture of a fruit, fruit के बारे में बोल रहे हैं, ठीक है. Now they might draw whatever fruit they like, तो आप उनकी personality and how they draw, what are their strokes, वो पूरा उसमें जा सकता. How well are they able to express the thoughts, ठीक है, are they you only told fruit, that is the cue. Now they can draw 5 fruits, 10 fruits, or they can only draw 1 fruit, whatever it is, ठीक है, they are expressing it. Then there is ordering choice. यहाँ पर this is most frequently used in quantitative research. Essentially what you are doing is you are asking the subject to explain why specific things are most important or least important. For example, you are giving them 5 6 topics. So for example, you are giving them family, money, health, ठीक है, एक्सेट्रा. लेट अस सपोज आप ऐसे 3 कोई सिनारियोज दे रहे हैं एंड यू आर आस्किंग देम टू ऑर्डर देम. डिफरेंट पीपल माइट ऑर्डर इट डिफरेंटली. सो फॉर एग्जांपल, सम पीपल माइट थिंक फैमिली कम्स फर्स्ट, or some people might think money comes first, some people might give health the priority, or some people might give health the least priority. So वो आप ordering choice उनको दे रहे हैं and you are asking them to explain why they are making that order, what is most important and least important, वो पूछ रहे हैं आप, and you are asking them why are they placing it that way, explain बोल के, ठीक है. Now the advantage with projective techniques is that you will get very rich and accurate information, very in-depth information, ठीक है, and you can see the total functioning of individuals with these type of techniques, ठीक है, and academic and literary skills उतने ज़्यादा ज़रूरत नहीं पड़ती इसमें, ठीक है. Most of these techniques are very less demanding, ठीक है. यहाँ पर इट इज इजी, आप मल्टीपल लैंग्वेजेस में कर सकते हैं बिकॉज इट इज पिक्टोरल डिस्क्रिप्शन एंड ऑल ऑफ दैट. आप बहुत इजीली मल्टीपल लैंग्वेजेस के लोगों को इन्वॉल्व कर सकते हैं. इट डज नॉट रिक्वायर अ लॉट ऑफ रीडिंग, ठीक है. समटाइम्स इट डज नॉट रिक्वायर एनी स्पीच ऑल टुगेदर, ठीक है, इन सर्टन सिनारियोस, ठीक है. Disadvantage is that interpretation skills of the researcher should be very good, ठीक है, because the respondent is giving so many responses, अलग अलग type of responses. Let us suppose you take 20 different people and you are giving them the same same scenario, each one of them will respond, it might respond in a different way. So it is your job as a researcher to be able to interpret those thoughts and those feelings very well. Okay, researcher who is skilled and trained in interpretation, only those people will be able to handle this kind of information. Okay, even though some responses might have very little meaning, you have to interpret it very carefully. uh, and यहाँ पर, if when you are employing other people as well, the research staff who you are employing, they also have to be very good with these projective techniques. They should be very good with interpretation techniques. So expensive रहता है वैसे लोगों को hire करना भी, ठीक है. And there is a considerable degree of subjectivity in this, ठीक है, because each subject is giving their own thoughts. Their interpretation or the way they had meant it might not be interpreted properly. And in the sense that, let us suppose I'm giving that same result to two different researchers. One researcher might interpret it in one way, the other might interpret it in a different way, ठीक है. तो बहुत subjective रहता है ये, depending on who is interpreting the data, the response that you are getting from different patients, आपका interpretation भी अलग रह सकता. So those kind of things come into picture. Those are the disadvantages of projective technique. Now in the next class we'll look at Q sorts and vignettes. Okay.